One.
Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 3, the memo to a decision maker. So you can see I have a split screen here. On this side, I have this is the PDF that outlines gives the structure and the template to use for the writing assignment number 3. So if we just go line by line, you have this heading exactly in place. Perfect. And I like how you've written your summary. It gives a very quick overview of what's happening. And then you ask directly, I'm looking to conduct further research. What I recommend is instead of, if I may, I would say I'd like to request your permission to conduct primary research on the importance as it applies to our emergency department. So make certain that you make it personal and describe what kind of research. I'm going to do surveys, or I'd like to submit, I'd like to interview or something like that. You want to be as specific as possible and, just very direct. What is the problem and why does it need to be investigated? You copy over each of the headlines. That's perfect. But I want you to take a look at these 2 paragraphs. These paragraphs are more suggestions. This area, what is the problem and why does it need to be investigated? You want a series of paragraphs that basically just kind of nutshells, overviews the synthesis of literature review. So you came up with 3 separate problems that were promoted by shortage staffings and EDs, for shortages of nurses, staffing, and EDs. So you just want to present those 3 quick findings, not in full. You don't need to substantiate as deeply as the synthesis review did, but you want to just give a quick overview of them. These 2 are the suggestions that you are offering as what the recommendations are. And so they should probably go into this lower section. Additionally, I want to draw your attention to something quickly. So you have quite a lot of run-on sentences. Let me read this first one to you. From this section here. Shortage of emergency department nurses impact patient care. The shortest time patients spend in ED is approximately 4 hours. That's 2 totally and completely separate sentences. So what I recommend you do is to copy and paste this and run it through a processor like Grammarly, because you have quite a lot or quite a few of these run-on sentences where you just have 2 separate ideas that instead of a comma, you probably should be using a period and separating the sentences. So I noticed that throughout. The secondary research here this is where what I've done so far. I looked up. So in this section, you want to say there are 3 basic problems that a shortage creates. The secondary research shows, and then give a general conclusion, and then describe here in detail what your primary research will be. And that's what you've done. Remember, you want to just add that very direct, quick statement. I'd like to interview. I'd like to create a survey also. So here, this part does not have to do like this paragraph right here. The arrival of critical patients to the ED are usually assigned to a patient. This takes away from the pool of limited nurses attending to the patients. What impact does this have on nurses and other patients? So it's 3 sentences in one. What you want to do here is this idea here is my primary research will be to interview interview of ED nurses that encounter chronic overflow of patients, period. I will collect the data. There is patients. I will disperse a survey to collect data on the ratio of nurses to patients, so forth and so on. I also send a survey to those, take away from the pool of limited nurses, what impact is to a pool of nurses to see what their impact of nurses who are overloaded has. So you want to just outline this. This paragraph right here could probably go away, and you want to detail what your research will be. And then the benefits you want to show. I think you have 2 pretty good paragraphs up here, concepts of ideas up here. You want to move down here. What benefit will result from your survey? How will that show that your research is beneficial to your project? And then finally, when you head down to the conclusion, you want to make certain that this wraps up the reason we need to do this is we have a critical and crisis in our department. So you have all of the components. You just want to really check that where each of these segments go, and how you want to check on that sentence structure, reducing those run-on sentences. I look forward to your final copy.